Alrighty guys, what's going on everybody? Welcome here to another live stream, my friends. I hope everyone is having a great day out there. So I just want to go ahead and say off the bat, the title and the thumbnail says Cat 5. This was before the system updated. It is actually now an upper level Cat 4 again, thankfully. Well, we do got some new information regarding the warnings, the watches, and all that fun stuff, and a lot more model data, and it seems like we kind of know what might happen to it now later on as it approaches the Gulf waters. We'll just get all into that here right now, my friends. What's up, everybody? Hope everyone's doing good. Let's see who we got here before we go ahead and get on into it. We have Tash, we have Kayla, we have Andrea, we have Football, we have Misty, we have Pete. We got ourselves Roby, we have Kathleen, we have Deb, let's see, we have Pat, we have Rich, Ponderosa, let's see, David. What's up, everybody? And, of course, everybody else who is not chatting but just watching. Hope you guys are doing good. So, here's the current update on the storm. Right now, the storm is just to the south of the Dominican Republic. We're going to go ahead and, let's see, we're going to go ahead and turn down the data a little bit so you can kind of see the areas of land. So Dominican Republic, it's still really hard to see. Here, go ahead and make it a little bit. There you go. So yeah, there's the Dominican Republic. Actually, I'm going to do this. This might make it a little bit better. There we go. Yeah, so you can kind of see where the areas are. But yeah, that's out there in the Dominican Republic, just to the south. We have some of those bands, as you can see, coming near the coast of the regions there. Obviously, we're getting a little bit of rain from Beryl here, Cracker Barrel. That's the official nickname I've given it, is Cracker Barrel. But yeah, so latest information on it, we still have a decent eye with the storm. There still is a lot of lightning activity in the eye wall, which is still showing that the storm is chugging along. The thing is now, like I said, it did just get downgraded to a Category 4, upper level Cat 4, with the sustained winds of 155, and the pressure is now down to 943 millibars. So with the storm here, there still is a lot of lightning activity, so she's still powering through. There's a little bit of wind shear, a lot of strong winds, or a little bit of strong winds. It's going to start to weaken the storm. As you can already see, it's already starting to a little bit. So if you look at the western side of the storm, you notice how the right-hand side's a lot more thicker. There's a lot more clouds and more activity on the right-hand side of the storm than the left. Yeah, that's some of that winds, some of that northeasterly wind shear that is starting to affect the storm and actually weaken it a bit. This is going to be the main cause of this thing weakening, is essentially those, those winds there overall. We'll look more in those here in a minute. But yeah, that's the current storm. We're going to turn up the data a little bit so it's a little easier to see. As of the latest like I said, latest satellite imagery, we have both convection occurring in both the western and the eastern eye wall areas. So it's definitely she's still powering along for sure. Still is a very dangerous hurricane here. Once again, this is now south of the Dominican Republic. So we're going to go ahead and hop on over here to the latest cone from the Hurricane Center. We got some new information on those warnings and watches we were talking about here. So let's go ahead and hop you guys over here to that main view overall. So right now we do have ourselves, like I was saying, the latest cone here, we have tropical storm warnings in effect for the southern and western southern coasts of the Dominican Republic. So for those southern and central for the southern coast of the Dominican Republic, the central and western coastlines are under a tropical storm warning. Same thing for southern Haiti. Haiti is under, like I said, the southern coast of Haiti, not the northern coast. This is just for the southern coast overall. We got ourselves tropical storm, like I said, tropical storm warnings in effect out there in the dark blue. Believe it or not, Haiti, in the pink there, we actually have ourselves hurricane watches in effect here. Hurricane conditions possible. Doesn't mean at the moment, like I said, we'll have to continue monitoring it. They put a watch, just to watch it out, or just to watch out for potential hurricane conditions. But as of now, tropical storm conditions is expected. Hurricane conditions possible. So just a bit of a heads up out there towards southern Haiti out there overall. So then, of course, we work our way into tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, right around sunrise or so, the storm is just going to be off the coast of Jamaica. Now, unfortunately, it does seem like the models trended a little bit more north again, and having this thing getting really, really close to direct landfall out there in Jamaica. It does seem like a possibility overall. So the red areas here, which includes all of Jamaica, as well as some of the Cayman Islands out there, we are seeing hurricane warnings in place. So the red is hurricane warnings. Unfortunately, like I was saying, for the morning tomorrow, that's when we're going to really start to feel some heavy effects out there in Jamaica. But yeah, you can see we have ourselves as hurricane warnings in place. But yeah, that'll roll its way in through tomorrow morning into the afternoon, obviously through the evening. So just tomorrow in general is going to be a heavy, nasty day for Jamaica with that storm. Now, unfortunately, since yesterday's updates, we were expecting the storm to be right around a Category 2 as it approached just to the south of Jamaica in yesterday's update. Unfortunately, now it's upgraded. It's now supposed to still be a major hurricane as a Category 3 storm as it goes its way towards Jamaica. Now, like I said, we did have a little bit more of a northerly trend regarding the models, and it does seem like it's possible that Jamaica could even suffer a full-on landfall. With the eye of the storm, it's still a possibility that it could. Models still mostly hold it to the south, but it is going to be riding right up against that southern coast there, which is going to be a bit of a problem there overall. So, yeah, Jamaica, like I said, I hope you guys are prepared for the storm here. If you're not fully prepared, make sure that you are ready by today. By this evening, honestly. I want you to be ready for the storm. Make sure you have food and water, your basic survival items, just handy and ready to go. All your important documents and stuff in one place, and inside of your safe spot, obviously. So, like I said, definitely be prepared if you're in Jamaica. Once again, you have really until tonight to finish preparing. Because like I said, tomorrow morning and all throughout tomorrow, there's going to be some really nasty hurricane effects out there in Jamaica. So, yeah, hurricane warnings in place. So as we approach the morning for Thursday, the storm is going to be downgrading to a Category 2. So like I said, it's expected to be a Category 3 as it goes through Jamaica. And as it approaches the Cayman Islands here, we're going to be seeing this thing downgraded to a Category 2. Likely an upper Cat 2 overall. So whenever it comes to it, like I said, hurricane conditions are expected out there in the Cayman Islands. You need to be prepared as well. Make sure you have all of your stuff together as well out there in the Cayman Islands. We need to be prepared out there as well. So the heaviest impacts is going to be early Thursday morning. Okay, early Thursday morning, you're going to start to feel the effects actually on Wednesday, kind of Wednesday evening. You're going to start to really feel those effects out there towards the Cayman Islands, but the heaviest is going to be there for early tomorrow morning. Early Thursday morning, my bad. Yeah, early Thursday morning, just before sunrise is whenever it's going to be kind of peaking overall. Now, we continue working our way here to the west overall, so as we approach our way into the evening of Thursday, Basically, you can actually see how we're still a hurricane at that point in time, and we have officially concluded the fact that we are expecting a landfall here in the Yucatan Peninsula. So the Yucatan Peninsula here will probably start to get some watches here soon. I would definitely imagine. So obviously the eastern Yucatan, just the Yucatan Peninsula in general. Make sure you guys are getting ready for this storm as well. Like I said, we're expecting that landfall on the eastern side of the Yucatan Peninsula overall. Once again, we are talking the impacts. So the landfall is going to occur for Friday morning. Friday morning, it's going to have a landfall out there in the Yucatan Peninsula. And since it's going over a big area of land, it is going to weaken down into a tropical storm as it heads its way out there into the southern Gulf. So as we approach our way here for the morning of Saturday, it'll officially be positioned its way into the southern Gulf of Mexico. And then, of course, like I said, as we continue even into the morning of Sunday, it's going to get a little close to Texas. So at this point in time, I want to go ahead and say it, Texas, southern Texas, as well as the eastern coast of Mexico should start getting preparations ready for tropical storm conditions. We'll look at the models here in a minute, and we'll show you guys what the models are kind of showing with all of that activity and stuff. But once again, that's the latest update regarding that. Once again, if you guys are just tuning in here, Beryl, Cracker Barrel. That's the official nickname I gave it. Sustained winds of 155, so it's just downgraded down to a Category 4 storm. As you can see in the top right, that is up-to-date information. Up in the top right, central low of 943 millibars with the winds out there, sustained at 155. We're still gusting really high. We're still gusting to 170 plus out of the storm here, so we're definitely feeling it. With those wind gusts, we're still up in Cat 5 realm with the wind gusts, but like I said, we've officially downgraded just now to a Category 4. So that's the latest update. So it's actually picked up a little bit of speed. It's actually moving west northwest now at 22. Yesterday's update, it was moving west northwest at 20. So we've actually picked up a little bit of speed, and the storm's moving pretty quick actually. For a hurricane, moving around 20 miles an hour, that's a decent speed. It's not really slow moving. It's kind of quick moving. So she's a moving to the west. Like I said, west northwest at 22 miles an hour, and it'll continue to the westerly trajectory. Now, just a quick little update. We have some good news. Remember 96L, that system that we were talking about behind Beryl? I'm having a hard time remembering that. So that storm 96L, the probability has gone down dramatically. We only have a 20% chance now of formation overall. So that is absolutely good news. That system behind it seems less conducive for development, and the chances of this thing becoming a tropical depression or a tropical storm is very low at this point. So that is very, very good news. Tash, no, it will not re-strengthen to a Cat 5. So we're starting to kind of have a bit of a problem with the storm here. Let's go ahead and hop on back here to the main screen for a second while I pull up something for you guys. So what's going on here, if you look at the infrared satellite view, you might notice how the storm is a lot bigger on its eastern side than it is on its left-hand side, or the western side. So what is going on here is we're starting to get a bit of wind shear. So we're having some strong winds coming from the southwest, moving its way up to the northeast. You can actually start to see those over here. See that northeasterly movement there? So what's going on here is essentially there is some strong winds that's starting to roll its way into that region. And what this is going to do, this is actually going to allow for the storm to weaken a bit here. So that's going to be good news there overall. Here, let me go ahead and bring you all over here to this map here. We're going to hop you all over here to the full screen again here for y'all. So this is the wind shear map. Now, I know it looks like a bunch of crazy stuff for you. Don't worry. So there's the storm right here. You can see it. There's a little eye right there. So that's the storm. And you can see landmark areas, for example. Here's Cuba. There's Jamaica. So just kind of pointing things out. There's Puerto Rico. There's the Lesser Antilles. So you can kind of see where we're talking here. So as the storm moves its way here to the west, you notice how we have some red here. Now this is showing some strong winds, and you can actually see these little arrows here. They're pointing to the northeast. So we're basically getting a lot of strong models, or not models, sorry. Man, I was looking at Henry's comment. I briefly looked over at the chat and I saw models, so I was like, oh, model. No, the models, they are showing, strong winds there to the northeast out there. So that's going to actually allow for the storm to kind of destabilize a little bit. That's actually explaining why the western side of the storm is, a lot more skinnier than it is on the right-hand side. So, when it comes to it there, overall, like I was saying, we are getting ready to head into a region where there is a lot stronger of winds. Now, that's actually going to come and play pretty handy for areas out there towards like Jamaica. So as that storm is working its way out there to the west, you can already see it's in the yellow, which is, overall, the yellow is representing neutral, but favorable conditions for strengthening overall is in the green. Neutral conditions is, a little bit of wind shear. And an unfavorable basically means that, the storm's going to have a hard time rolling through those areas there. Once again, that is just kind of what we are, like I said, that is kind of what we are seeing here. So, it's going to roll its way into stronger winds here for tomorrow, which is going to allow for the storm to weaken, thankfully. There's no chance of it really re-strengthening. Well, at least for the time being. So there is a possibility as we continue rolling west. So obviously the models have this thing kind of, doing something like this, right? So the models are, the track does something like that, right? Just goes barely to the south of Jamaica. Could be a direct landfall in Jamaica. But once it gets into the waters here, just to the west of the Cayman Islands and just east of the Yucatan, directly just south here of western Cuba. So once we're in these waters here, there is weaker winds, which that could allow for possibly even a little bit of strengthening as essentially, we do reach into those waters. Because first of all, the waters are still very warm there. They're the same as all throughout pretty much the Caribbean. So the waters are the same. There'll be weaker wind shear, which will help prevent, the storm from further weakening, which means it'll be able to catch up to itself, maybe catch its breath here for a minute, as it's kind of pulling away from those strong winds. So it'll be a little bit more calmer for the storm to generate in. Moisture supply seems to still be pretty valid. It does seem like we're still going to have a lot of moisture in the storm. So the storm, in theory, I do think once we cross just west of the Cayman Islands, I think we could have a brief time period of maybe a little bit of strengthening as we get into these areas here. But like I said, it's a pretty small gapped area. There's not a whole lot of room for, quick development. So I don't think that this thing is going to essentially get back up into major hurricane strength or anything like that. I don't think so. By the time it reaches those areas there, last update here from the Hurricane Center basically says that storm will be a Category 1. So it'll likely not get back up into it would likely not get back up into major hurricane strength overall. Let me go ahead and hop you guys over here to the main view. So this is the latest cone, obviously from the Hurricane Center, and like I was saying, you can see how they do have this thing getting downgraded to a Category 1, remaining a Category 1 as it impacts the eastern side of the Yucatan Peninsula. Before tracking back into the southern Gulf as an upper-level tropical storm. And they don't really have much strengthening happening with that. But I will say that at this point in time, this is a strong tropical storm. At this point in time, it is a strong tropical storm. Obviously, this is a little bit far down in the track. It's a little bit harder to tell. The models are a little bit more iffy what's going to happen at this point. But it does seem like we could have a potential impact out there for portions, out there in like the southern, out there in southern central Texas coast there, as well as maybe even like northeastern, Mexico's coast. So that could be a bit of an issue. So we'll have to monitor that. As of now, there's no warnings or watches. There's no need to go buy out all the water in the store yet. Like I said, there's no need to panic out there. But just keep an eye on it. Just watch it for the next couple days. Like I said, even the Yucatan doesn't have any hurricane warnings or watches yet. I do expect those to be issued probably soon because, like I said, we're kind of closing down on some of those areas. We're getting closer, I should say. It's still a little ways away, but we're getting closer. And, as we do get closer, we'll start to get some of those advisories and stuff like that being issued. So just a heads up. Once again, eastern Yucatan, prepare for, a lower hurricane landfall to occur out there. Like I was saying, the Cayman Islands, as it approaches you guys here, basically, let's see, what day was that? So as it approaches you guys, let's see, I'm going to pull this back up for the timing here so I can get that right for y'all. Okay, so as we approach our way out there for basically the morning of Thursday, we are going to still likely be in possibly, right there in the realm of a kind of a mid, maybe low-end Category 2 hurricane at that point in time. So as it approaches right there near the Cayman Islands. Remember, like I was saying, with the latest information and stuff like that, we are seeing, it did bump up a little bit. The models did, trend a little bit to the north out there, potentially, having a direct impact on, Jamaica with that landfall process. It's possible, it's more than likely. I still think it'll probably just hug the southern coast of Jamaica, but even then, like I said, the impacts are still going to be high. So just make sure you're ready in Jamaica. Like I said, just make sure you have all your stuff together, because at this point in time and being, it's still going to be a pretty strong storm out there. Still kind of a mid category 3 at that point. So we'll definitely need to be watching closely. So, but yeah, like I said, once again, everybody, the current status of the storm, we did just officially get downgraded to a category 4. We are sustained at 155 mile per hour winds with a central low of 943 millibars. As you can see out there, we still have a decent amount of lightning activity up in that northeastern eye wall there. So we're definitely seeing, still a little bit of, potential. I wouldn't say quite strengthening, because we are starting to weaken a bit, because those strong winds on the western side of the storm are starting to get to it. But at least it's sustaining itself. It's fighting for sure. But like I was saying, as we continue rolling to the west here, we're going to start battling some wind shear. We're going to start to have a little bit of problems with that. Like I said, if you look at the far top left corner of the satellite imagery, you can actually see that northeasterly movement up there. That is a little bit of that wind shear that we're talking about, and the storm's not gonna like it too much, and that's actually gonna allow for it to weaken, which is good news, which means a little bit more lighter of impacts out there. Let's see here. What's up, Isabel? Hope you're doing good. Isn't Jamaica kind of mountainous? Cuba's mountainous. I'm not too sure about Jamaica. I think there is some mountains up in Jamaica. I don't think it's anything like Cuba, though, but I'm pretty sure Jamaica does have a few mountains, yes, which, as you know, hurricanes, they don't really like, first of all, they don't like landfall, because you're basically taking away their warm water supply. Yet alone, mountains disrupts its lower level wind field. Obviously, those lower level winds hurricanes are very developed on the surface. And whenever you disrupt their winds, at ground level, that typically causes the storm to destabilize and weaken further. So, I do expect it to weaken as it rolls across portions here of, of the regions of Jamaica. So we'll have to watch out for that. What's up, John, man? Hope you're doing good, dude. Isabel says I'm doing good. How are you? I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. Nicole says, yes, we have hill and mountains. Yeah, I thought you did. Because I know a lot of like Cuba does as well. So whenever tropical cyclones get near those areas, they don't do very well. Let's see here. But yeah, so that's what's going on there. Let's go ahead and take a quick little look at the rainfall map, obviously regarding how much rain we can expect out there. I want to go ahead and get all that information out there for you. Like I said, the good news is that this storm is a relatively fast-moving system. It's moving west-northwest at 22 miles an hour. It's moving pretty quick, actually. It's not really staying in one spot, which is what we don't want. We don't want a Harvey. No, it's not going to do anything like that. It's actually pretty fast-moving, so that's good. So that's actually going to allow for some of those rain totals to be a little bit lower than they typically would be for, a slow-moving hurricane. However, with that being said, there still is likely going to be some heavy rains. Now, out there towards the Dominican Republic, we could see some localized spots here, especially on that southern tip out there. Could be getting up to 150 to 200 millimeters, or for Imperial here, 6 to 8 inches of rainfall is a possibility. So, yeah, a good amount of rainfall is possible out in some of those regions. Now, the overall rainfall projection becomes a little bit more less confident the further we get out there towards like Jamaica. From what it looks like, it seems like the eastern side of Jamaica is going to have some of the heaviest rainfall with the system. We could have potentially 12 plus inches of rain, locally, according to the latest rainfall forecast here. So there could be a lot of rain. Some areas could see up to a foot of rain. Not to mention, that's going to be a big problem for the eastern coast here. The southeastern and just eastern coast in general, because, with that system rolling through, you're going to have all of that winds, pushing up against the coast, which is going to allow for a lot of heavy surging out there. So a lot of heavy storm surge in that region there for one, not to mention a lot of rainfall out of it. So there's just going to be a big problem regarding flooding out there in eastern Jamaica. So like I said, please make sure you're ready for it by tonight, because like I said, we're going to start really feeling those effects tomorrow as that storm system does get pretty close. And like I said, where it's at right now, this is a little bit outdated. The storm is actually just to the south here of the Dominican Republic. So So it's it's a little closer than this map projects. So I want you guys to know that. This is an older map here, but this is the latest one that's still valid regarding the rainfall. Now, obviously, you can see this area where lower confidence is. Yeah, out there by the Cayman Islands, we definitely could pick up a couple inches of rainfall. Obviously, we don't really know how much rain we're going to see out there by the Yucatan at this point because, obviously, that's still pretty far out in rainfall totals with a lot of uncertainty still in a bit of the guidance, with the later projections. Obviously, makes it a little bit more difficult to understand. So we'll keep you updated on the Yucatan. Like I said, going back here to the warnings and stuff for the people just joining us, like I was mentioning, we do have ourselves hurricane warnings in place out there for the Cayman Islands, Jamaica as well, where hurricane conditions are expected. We obviously have southern Haiti actually now in hurricane watches. So hurricane conditions possible, although tropical storm conditions is expected. So tropical storm conditions, yes, we expect those, while hurricane conditions are possible. So we're having a watch out there, so we'll keep an eye out for that. If any upgrade gets issued, we'll give you guys an update on a later notice. But yeah, like I was saying, the position as of 2 o'clock p.m., which is a brand new update here. You can see it is just to the south there of the regions. Is just to the south here of the regions of the Dominican Republic. The tropical storm force wind field is not touching these areas, but we are expected to start seeing some tropical storm conditions here later on this evening out there towards the southern, kind of the western side here of the Dominican Republic. I'm sure we're definitely starting to see some big waves out there and maybe even a little bit of coastal flooding starting to occur because we're right up on your doorstep out there towards the Dominican Republic. But once again, the winds are still out to sea, but that will be moving its way closer to land here by this evening. Okay, so I want you guys to know that. So yeah, Dominican Republic, like I said, you guys are going to start feeling that later on this evening. Obviously, for tomorrow morning, we're going to start to feel it really out there towards Haiti. As we work, actually, honestly, also out there towards eastern Jamaica at that time being, for kind of the later morning, we're going to really start to feel the effects of this storm here. Like I said, tomorrow, all throughout Wednesday, there's going to be some nasty effects out there in Jamaica, and the heaviest is going to be taking place for Jamaica right there, right around the afternoon into the evening. That's going to be some of the heaviest impact times for you guys. So once again, please, if you are out there, make sure that you guys are ready. Make sure that you guys are obviously, well stocked up on food and water and all the survival items. Make sure you have all your, personal documents and stuff like that, your important documents together as well, all in one spot, in your safe spot. That way, everything's together, and like I said, you don't got to worry about anything else. Just, I want you guys to be ready by tonight, because like I said, tomorrow morning, we're going to start to feel the effects of this storm here overall. What did the storm peak in terms of wind and pressure? So it peaked at 165 mile an hour sustained winds, and it did have a central, I think the central low got down to, was it 938, I want to say? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong on that. I'm pretty sure it was 938 millibars. Or it was 937 or 938, I think was the lowest pressure out of it. It definitely did get pretty, pretty low there regarding it. But yeah, it did officially reach Cat 5 status for a while last night, and through this morning it was a Cat 5, which is really just crazy to think. This is unbelievable. With that system, the first hurricane of the season becoming a Cat 5. I mean, like, honestly, I didn't see that on my playing cards. I'm not gonna lie, I really didn't see that on the playing cards there. So what I did see whenever I started forecasting this, as I was watching it, I did expect a low end Cat 4, but Cat 5, I don't think any of us saw that coming. I don't think any of us saw that coming in the models or anything like that, because the models just simply didn't support it. Which is crazy. And that's just another reminder to go to show you that models aren't perfect, and they're not some magical tool, but they do give us good guidance. They do help us out a lot, and they're really useful, but they're not perfect. And I want you to know that. Let's see here. Nicole says, what time tomorrow? For what areas? So like I said, tomorrow we're going to start to feel the effects early tomorrow morning out there towards Dominican Republic. We're going to feel that this evening. Out there tomorrow morning, we're going to really feel it towards like Haiti. And then of course, starting to roll its way towards Jamaica kind of for, right around the morning, starting kind of mid, maybe late morning, we're going to really start to feel those effects out there, overall. Let's see here. I mean, it's 2024. What do I expect this? That's true. Crazy tornadoes and crazy hurricanes. Yeah, that's true. The weather this year has been just crazy. Oh, Jamaica, says Nicole. Okay, yeah. So Jamaica, like I said, the effects are going to be really felt. Like I said, as early as it'll be just before sunrise is when you're going to really start to feel those effects. So, that's what I was saying. I want you to be prepared by this evening overall. Let's see here. This is a strong hurricane, says James. Sure is. It's quite a beast here. Let's hop on back over to infrared view. I want to go ahead and show you guys some things here on the storm currently. So like I was saying, it's starting to deal with a little bit of light wind shear on the western side of the storm here. Let me go ahead and remove that wind field, kind of blocking everything here. But yeah, like I was saying here on the western side, you can see, it's a little more skinny on the western side of the storm as it is on the right-hand side. You can see a lot more of those, those tops out there, really goes a lot further to the east than it does to the west. Right now, like I was saying, we are starting to deal with a little bit of light wind shear on the western storm out there right now. So this is, essentially allowing for the storm maybe to slightly weaken, and that's going to be the main cause of it weakening as we continue rolling to the west here, which honestly this is good. This is actually really good news for the people out there towards Jamaica, because it's not going to be as strong as it was, thankfully, but it's still going to be a really strong storm, and unfortunately it's still set to be a major hurricane as it does approach you guys. Let's see here. The water being warmer than expected probably contributed to the models underestimating the strength, right? Well, models, at least most hurricane models, they do take into consideration the sea surface temperatures. I don't think it was that necessarily. I just think that it was, just the models, just not foreseeing it, to be honest with you. I mean, like I said, none of us really saw this happening, first hurricane of the season and stuff like that, but yeah, the models just didn't pick up on it overall. Let's see. But yeah, I do know that some models pick up on sea surface temperatures. But remember, it's not just based off of sea surface temperatures. There's really three major things for hurricane formation and sustainability. That being moisture, humidity levels throughout our atmosphere. We measure moisture supply. Obviously, sea surface temperatures does play a crucial role. Typically, you want those over 26 Celsius or higher. We're in about 28 Celsius waters here, so we're in some warm water, definitely available for strengthening of a system. And of course, the last thing being wind shear. As it rolled through the Lesser Antilles and the Windward Islands, there wasn't any wind shear hardly at all, meaning that the storm was just kind of free to do whatever it wanted to. But yeah, now we're starting to roll our way into more stronger winds. That's not part of the storm. That's foreign to the storm. And that's going to, the hurricane's not liking it very much. So it's going to weaken a little bit, and it's actually going to continue to weaken as it deals with that strong wind activity as it rolls to the west here. Meanwhile, still having adequate moisture as well as, the sea surface temperatures are still just as warm. So we're not changing the temperatures of the water. We're not changing the amount of moisture really either. It's mostly a wind shear thing. As it rolls to the west, it's going to have more of a problem. Dealing with that wind shear overall. You're welcome, Joyce. No problem. Let's see here. It's insane that Beryl went from a Cat 1 to a Cat 5 less than a week. Yeah, it's pretty wild. She did undergo some rapid strengthening. That's for sure. That's just, yeah, it was something else, man. But anyways, like I was saying, yeah, so we're going to continue as a Cat 4 for at least the next day or so. She's going to downgrade to a Cat 3 sometime for probably tomorrow afternoon. We're kind of expecting here the storm to be downgrading from a Cat 4 to a Cat 3 just before approach out there towards Jamaica. As it's just off the coast, it's going to be a very low-end Cat 4. Sustained winds here. Cat 4 starts at 130. I was thinking 140 for a second. No. So it's still going to be a decent Cat 4, actually, as it rolls to the eastern side. And as it approaches western Jamaica, it's going to be right around 120. So we're going to get landfall probably as either a low-end Cat 4 or an upper-level Category 3. Yeah, upper Cat 3 or lower Cat 4 is what we're going to see as it approaches. Now, let's go ahead and hop on over here to the spaghetti models. I do want to pull that up with you guys to take a look at the latest tracks with everything going on here. So, honestly, it's looking a lot better with the models. We're going to hop on over here to the spaghetti models. You guys know and love. So here's the latest spaghettis. Now, obviously, most of the models does have this thing still kind of just riding the coast of southern Jamaica. I think that's the most likely track of this thing. There is a chance that that eye could touch the coast of southern Jamaica. I think that's certainly a possibility. Regardless, it's not going to be far from Jamaica at all. And the worst, the bad thing is that, you know, with tropical systems, or, you know, just low pressure systems in general, the eastern and northeastern side or quadrant of the storm is the most strongest. That's where you have your strongest wind shear, your strongest instability, and all of that stuff. So that's going to contribute to more worse conditions out there, likely out there towards like eastern Jamaica. I think you guys are going to really feel it out there in eastern Jamaica. So once again, I mean, if you haven't prepared for it, I would highly recommend you do this immediately before the end of tonight, okay? Because, like I said, it's getting closer. It's getting a lot closer here. And like I said, it's going to be touching you guys, or it's just going to be barely off the coast as that eye rolls through overall. So it's going to be real close. Now, like I said, the storm's just going to pass to the south of the Cayman Islands here. Now, that's going to be occurring here as it approaches south of the Cayman Islands. That's going to be there for the 4th, so the 4th of July, around 8 a.m. So right around 8 a.m. there. What day is the 4th of July? I'm all mixed up with my dates right here. Okay, so Thursday. So as we approach Thursday morning, that is when we are going to have ourselves the storm just passing to the south of the Cayman Islands. Like I said, Cayman Islands is under hurricane warnings. Same thing for Jamaica overall. So, yeah, the Cayman Islands out there, you know, we're going to see our heaviest effects right there for the morning of July 4th, which is for Thursday overall. And at that time and point and being, or at that time, we're going to have the storm here right sustained at about 105. So we're going to be up in Cat 2, kind of, you know, lower Cat 2 strength out there at that time being. So yeah, that's what we can expect. We could have some gusts up to 125 still around that time. So yeah, once again, Cayman Islands, definitely prepare for it overall. Let's see. Am I going live tonight? Tabletop? Yeah, I will do that. I'll definitely try to do a live stream tonight. Yesterday I couldn't. Well, yesterday I didn't because I was exhausted. We did 4 hours of landfall coverage yesterday. Tonight I'm going to do another update for you guys because it's definitely necessary. As it approaches Jamaica tomorrow, I'm going to do coverage again for the storm here in Jamaica. I'll do that whenever I wake up, which, like I said, it's going to be impacting Jamaica like all day tomorrow. So, you know, whenever it comes to it here, we'll definitely see here. Let's see what's up. Hope you're doing good, Brandy. Let's see here. Look at HWRF. Yeah, so let's go and hop over to models. Yeah, we'll go and take a look at that. But first, let me finish up with the spaghetti models here real quick. So, like I was saying, yeah, we're expecting a Yucatan Peninsula landfall here for about 72 hours out. This will be happening here basically for the morning of the 5th. The morning of the 5th here for Friday. So we are expecting the strength of the storm upon landfall to be right around, you know, maybe upper level Category 1 strength. We'll have to see how that plays out because, you know, I personally believe that there might be a little bit of time for the system maybe to, you know, get a hold of itself, possibly strengthen a little bit, not a lot, as it starts to roll out of that wind shear because we have really strong wind shear in effect right here. So the wind shear is, you know, really pushing to the northeast here, and the storm is approaching that wind shear, and as it gets closer to it, actually it goes a little further east here, but as it gets closer to that wind shear, it's going to allow for the storm to weaken, but it's going to kind of pull out of some of that heavy wind shear as it just passes just to the west of the Cayman Islands there. Could allow for maybe a little bit of a little bit of mild strengthening or sustainability, at least for a little bit. We'll continue watching that, but as of now, it is expected to be a Category 1 upon landfall out there in the Yucatan, then come out the other side into the southern Gulf as an upper-level tropical storm, actually. And then you can see the models here. We kind of have some ideas of what it could do once it goes in the Gulf, and it does seem like southern, maybe, you know, central kind of coast here of Texas could be impacted. So no need to freak out there. Like I said, no need to freak out. No need to spend all your money shopping right now. But like I said, keep an eye on it for a couple days. You know, it's still very far out. We're still talking 140 something hours away from this time being. So we're still pretty far out away from those areas. But yeah, you know, obviously areas out there through like the central and northern, or really just, you know, the eastern coast of Texas, or eastern coast of Mexico and portions of the central and southern coast of Texas should definitely monitor this in its progression, because it definitely could have some impacts further down in time as a tropical storm from what we're seeing as of now. So we'll keep an eye on it. But yeah, let's go ahead and hop on over into the fun models, obviously, the ones we know and love. So let's take a look at the tropical models. So we're going to start off with the HWRF. Now, let me go ahead and say, well, typically HWRF is known to be one of the more crazy models. I mean, considering that this model has it getting down to 932 millibars in 3 hours. Actually, sorry, this is an older model run. So yeah, regardless, having it pretty stronger than it is right now. But according to the HWRF model, so like I said, we're going to start to really feel those bands starting to roll into like the southern Dominican Republic, basically by this evening. You guys are going to start to feel those effects out there. Overall, most of the models does agree on this here. We're going to really start to feel those effects out there by Haiti. Basically for, near midnight, we're going to start to see a lot of those, midnight tonight, we're going to start to notice a lot of those bands starting to roll its way inland. Now, according to the HWRF model, unfortunately, this model has this thing hitting a direct landfall in Jamaica. Now, unfortunately, we really can't rule this out. It does seem possible with everything going on here. This model actually has the storm weakening a little bit, then strengthening again. I don't think it's really handling the wind shear factor too well. Because, like I said, it's going to be rolling into some pretty decent wind shear here soon. So I'm not sure if it's going to be quite this strong as this model projects. Once again, it's a model. Should be taken with a grain of salt anyways. But, according to the HWRF model, yeah, this thing does a direct landfall over those areas there. Still a lot of moisture. So, like I said, once again, moisture is not an issue with the storm here. According to a lot of these models. Same thing with sea surface temperatures. It's just as warm out in those regions there. This model here has this thing weakening pretty quick, it dropping a lot of strength as it does make that landfall out there in Jamaica overall. And like I said, the heavy stuff according to this model's going to start here for basically kind of the morning. Yeah, for the morning of tomorrow, we're going to really start to feel it, and it's going to be kind of peak here for the afternoon and through portions of the evening. And things should start to get a little bit better once we approach near midnight from midnight of basically the late July 3rd into early July 4th. We're going to start to notice things getting a little bit better. Cayman Islands, according to this model, could definitely start picking up some activity here. Overall, let's see. Yeah, the Cayman Islands could definitely start picking up a lot of heavy activity here, basically by early morning of July 4th. And according to this model, this storm here, according to HWRF, gets right up on the Cayman Island there, which is let's hope not. Most of the models have that a little further south, but then of course this model also shows the storm picking up a lot of strength as it rolls into that little area I was talking about here, and pressure is in the 950s, 940s according to this model, which is pretty low, showing some rapid strengthening according to this model here. As it hits the Yucatan, kind of rolls off and then maybe strengthens some more into the Gulf. Yeah, honestly, this model, like I was saying, I think is kind of more of a worst case scenario potential here overall, because this one has a direct landfall in Jamaica. It picks up strength, hits the obviously the Cayman Islands, barely scrapes through the Yucatan, weakens a bit, and then picks up strength immediately as it hits into the Gulf here. Once again, I feel like this model here is taking things a little bit too crazy, but we'll have to see. Moving on now, we're going to take a look at the HMON. Like I said, it's never good to look at one model. You kind of want to compare them all. This model showed showed it in 920 millibar territory. That's weird. Well, yeah, anyways, this model does really pick up on the weakening a little bit. This model, I can understand with that. So the model does show the storm weakening a little bit as it rolls its way to the west. As it starts battling some of that wind shear. We're going to really start to feel those effects towards Jamaica here for, once again, late morning, kind of, mid-late morning tomorrow. is whenever we're going to really start to feel some nasty effects out there in Jamaica. The heaviest of it's going to be right there for the afternoon into the evening. As you can see, comparing to the HWRF model, the one we were looking before, this model actually has the eye, or the center of that storm, passing a lot further south. Like I said, I do expect the eye to barely just pass to the south of Jamaica. There is still possibilities that it could do a direct landfall over Jamaica. We still haven't ruled that out yet. But, it seems most probable, in my opinion, that it's going to pass just barely to the south. But regardless, there's still going to be the same very heavy impacts out there. So really need to be ready for that out there. Now, the model obviously shows the storm weakening quite a bit as it rolls its way to the west. This model, has it getting down into a Category 1 strength, right there with the pressure getting into like right around the mid, let's see here. Yeah, right around like the mid 980 millibar mark. So that would be roughly around Category 1 strength as it touches the Yucatan Peninsula. Then, of course, weakens further down to possible even depression status. These models are all over the place. While HWRF still showed a major hurricane heading in the Gulf, this one shows like barely even a tropical storm. So, like I said, there's still a lot of things we need to iron out here with the models. They're not perfect. Once again, they're not. They all don't agree on it. But like I said, as new model runs come out and stuff like that, we'll obviously know a lot more about it. But let me take a look at a few other models with you guys real quickly, just to kind of get as many opinions as possible. Once again, with this, you want to get as many opinions as possible here. So the HAFSA, this is the HFSA model. So as we approach our way out there towards eastern Jamaica, once again, heavy impacts are going to really start to be felt there for kind of the mid-late morning tomorrow. Overall, and the heaviest impacts for the early afternoon going through the evening. This model, once again, like all the other models, has that eye barely just going to the south of that coast out there overall. And of course, we continue working our way out there to the west. Cayman Islands really being affected for the early morning, just before sunrise out there for the July 4th commute. Then as it continues going to the west, this model honestly kind of has the storm just kind of sustaining itself as it kind of pulls away from that upper level wind shear overall. It does show this, hitting, actually shows it strengthening just at the point of landfall. But according to the HFSA model, causing that landfall for early July 5th out there in the Yucatan Peninsula, obviously rapidly losing strength as it kind of pulls away from those warm waters. But once it gets back into those warm waters there, according to this model, strengthening seems quite possible. Now, honestly, given models and stuff like that, I wouldn't say it's impossible for the storm to strengthen once it gets back in the Gulf. That's something I want to monitor very closely over the next few days, because the current projections, of this system here has it impacting the eastern Yucatan as a Category 1 storm. That is what we are expecting as of right now. It rolls over the Yucatan. Obviously, that lower level wind field gets very much disrupted. Obviously, it kind of pulls away from all that warm water, and the storm kind of rapidly fizzles out. But it doesn't fizzle out, of course, but it weakens quickly, I should say. So then it goes back into the Gulf waters. At this point, still actually an upper-level tropical storm, no longer a hurricane at this point, but the latest Hurricane Center guidance here on the storm does not have this system here, really strengthening. But, given models and, given what I've been seeing here with latest progressions and stuff, it wouldn't be impossible for maybe a little bit of strengthening as it rolls into the southern Gulf. We'll see. I'll keep on monitoring that. But yeah, so we need to start paying attention out there towards like southern coastal Texas, as well as like the eastern coast of Mexico. We're still unsure on where it could go. I mean, it could obviously go as far down to the south out there, just shy northeast of Mexico City. Obviously, Mexico City's inland, but just making landfall just slightly to the northeast of that. Or it could make landfall near southern Texas. There's still a lot of uncertainty. The cone is still very, very large. There's a lot of error margin here. So where the center of the storm goes, we don't really know quite yet. But I would start to say, if you're out there towards like the central and southern coasts of Texas, as well as the eastern coast of Mexico, I would highly advise just monitoring the system. No need to panic. Like I said, no need to go grocery shopping or get everything together quite yet. It's no need for that at the moment. It's still pretty far down in time. However, for areas out there in the eastern Yucatan, at this point in time, we do know that it's going to be a hurricane upon landfall. I would start preparing for it if you're out there on the coast for sure. even out there towards like Cancun, it's possible, that the storm could get near those regions there. So, start preparing along the eastern coast of the Yucatan. Obviously for, let's see here, the Cayman Islands. Yeah, obviously the Cayman Islands out there. I want you guys to be prepared. You guys do have hurricane warnings in place for the Cayman Islands, meaning that hurricane conditions is expected. So just make sure that you guys have everything together. Make sure, you have food and water, things to, last you for a while. Important documents, all that stuff in one spot. First aid kit, flashlight, weather radio if you have one. I don't even know if they support weather radios out there, but like I was saying, just make sure you have all of your essential items to last you quite a while. So get a couple cases of water if you can. The earlier the better. Obviously supply and demand is a big problem with tropical systems. The supply is lower than the demand. So obviously, the earlier you get to it, the better. I would recommend getting prepared out there in the Cayman Islands. But you do have hurricane warnings, so that's same thing for Jamaica too. You guys should be ready in Jamaica by now, but if you're not, make sure you're ready by the evening tonight, because like I said, it's getting close. It's getting closer. It's not too far off the coast here overall. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm not as active in the chat as I want to be. My bad. There's just a lot to talk about, man. It's just pretty crazy. Let's see. What's up, Scott? Hope you're doing good. Let's see here. How close to Cuba will it come? Asking for a friend. So it'll remain fairly to the south of Cuba. Although my folks out there in the southern coast of Cuba, while you're not going to have any tropical storm really concerns, there's likely going to be some nasty rip currents and some big waves out there due to the system's overall nature of really stirring up the waters down there in the Caribbean. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, there's going to be a lot of coastal problems. So if you're at the beach, please be careful. I wouldn't recommend going in the water considering rip current concerns with this big storm rolling through. That'll really start to be felt here for pretty much tomorrow, especially into Thursday. We're going to really feel that effect out there. But yeah, so that's kind of the only concern I really see. I mean, obviously, yeah, we could get some of those outer bands, as it approaches near Jamaica. There's a couple bands that could work its way in, could bring some heavy rainfall to, some places. But regarding, like, the tropical storm conditions and stuff like that, as of now, it's not anticipated. Let me go ahead and hop you over here back to the Hurricane Center's update here. This is the latest cone, by the way. So Cuba is not under any form of watch or any warning right now. Like I was saying, regarding the warnings and watches currently, we have tropical storm warnings in effect out there throughout the entire southern coast of Haiti. Obviously, for the central and western coasts, the central and western southern coast of the Dominican Republic has tropical storm warnings where, tropical storm conditions is expected here. We're actually going to start feeling those later on this evening, matter of fact. Now, as you might have noticed, there's a little bit of pink out there, and all throughout southern Haiti. That's actually a hurricane watch, where hurricane conditions are possible. As of now, it's not a warning, so tropical storm conditions is expected out there, but hurricane conditions is possible, so I'll have to watch out for that. Now, obviously, the red areas is showing hurricane warnings. The Cayman Islands and Jamaica, you guys are under hurricane warnings. Once again, you need to prepare immediately for hurricane conditions, as this thing is coming right towards you. Now, like I said, for Cuba, once again, no warnings, no watches. We're good out there, but yeah, just watch out for some of those coastal concerns out there in the out there in southern Cuba. Some rip current concerns and stuff like that will definitely be a problem out there. Let's see here. We seem to got spared. Yeah, no, Cuba, like I said, Cuba's not gonna see anything super crazy. Yeah, this is gonna be mostly south of you guys. Like I said, for also the Yucatan Peninsula, there's no formal watches or warnings out yet. Wouldn't be surprised if they start issuing a watch soon for the Yucatan. We definitely will eventually need a hurricane watch out there, probably by this evening, I would say. If not this evening, probably tomorrow morning. We'll definitely likely have one at that point. So, yeah. So we'll probably see those here soon getting issued for the eastern Yucatan. That's what I'm saying. Out there in the Yucatan Peninsula on the eastern side, that's where the landfall is expected. Once again, I do want you guys to start preparing out there. Start getting things together, that you typically would for a tropical season. Make sure you have it all ready just by basically late Thursday. Make sure you have everything ready by late Thursday, essentially. The earlier the better, obviously. While landfall is expecting for the morning of Friday overall. Is Houston in the clear from Hurricane Beryl? So Houston, it seems like the storm will likely pass to your south. However, I still want you, even by Houston, to monitor the storm here. It's still very much unsure of what the what the storm's going to do at that point. We still have a lot of ground here that we need to cover. I mean, you can see the storm's over here. We're talking areas over here. I mean, this is a big distance. This is very far away. There's still a lot of things that can change. I mean, for example, like yesterday even, all the models had it going south of Jamaica. Now it seems like, there's some still possibility that Jamaica could have a direct landfall. It's still a possible outcome. Well, it kind of seemed like yesterday the cone was actually almost out of Jamaica. I don't know if you guys remember that, but the cone was almost out of Jamaica, and now they're back in the cone, and it's pretty narrow at this point. So, that's what I'm saying. And even that's a short distance. Comparing something this far away, it's just way too far out beyond, it's in very much unknown territory, I should say. That's what I'm saying. Honestly, what I really want you guys to do is if you're out there along just Texas coast and just eastern Mexico coast, I know it's a very wide margin. I want you to prepare for it. Or sorry, no need to prepare for it yet, but yeah, I want you to watch it, is what I should say. I want you to watch those, watch the system, watch its progression, and as it gets closer and as we start to learn more about it and what it will likely do, then that's when we can start, prepping for the storm. But yeah, no need to panic out there. Like I said, no need to start buying anything and anything like that yet. But we'll watch it. Okay, we'll watch it. Let's see. Beryl is barreling. Like I said, I gave it official name is Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrel is its official name. I used to think it was Beryl, or not Beryl, Beryl. Beryl, I thought it was his name, but no, it turned out to be Beryl, like Cracker Barrel. So that's his name, Hurricane Cracker Barrel. Let's see here. Jamie says we had a few Cat 1 over recent years. We haven't got a major hurricane in years. I think the last one was in 2001. It was Hurricane Keith. Wow. Interesting. Let's see here. What about the storm behind that one? Did they name it yet? So, Cheryl, actually, I have really good news to you on that storm. So, that's what we call 96L. That's an investigation. It's not a named storm yet. But there is some really good news about that storm, and that's the fact that the storm is unlikely to form at this point. So you can actually see here that we have, the storm here, disturbance 1, that's 96L. That's the storm that's behind it. There is an area of low moving west, but it's struggling, actually. It's having a hard time, and it honestly looks like as we continue, I mean, look at this. Throughout the next 7 days, we only have a 20% chance that this storm will become either a depression or a storm. That's not very high odds. The storm is unlikely to form at this point. We did have a high risk of development. Remember, it was up to 70% the other day. Now it's down to 20%. It dropped a lot. So obviously, with this system here, the probability of it developing is becoming less and less likely overall. Shower and thunderstorm activity has diminished and become less organized since yesterday and associated with a tropical wave located several hundred miles southeast of the Windward Islands. Environmental conditions are only marginally conducive, meaning it's only slightly possible for it to develop. Let's see here. For development, while it moves generally westward at 15 to 20 miles an hour. Across the western tropical Atlantic, East Caribbean Sea, regardless of development, gusty winds and locally heavy rainfall rates are possible as the system crosses the Lesser Antilles through midweek. So there's still likely going to be a little bit of rain out of it, but when it comes to it, regarding like tropical status, it's unlikely at this time to get a name. It's unlikely at this point. So that's good. That's good news. So yeah, that's an update on 96L. Yeah, don't worry about it too much. I'll keep an eye on it. Obviously, it's still an investigation, but it doesn't look likely anymore. Am I late? Yeah, we've been live for about an hour here. Am I from Jamaica? No, I'm actually from Virginia. I grew up in Virginia. I moved to Kentucky for a little bit and now live in Central Florida. Let's see here. We'll just get up to Cat 5. Mike, it did have a Cat. It was a Cat 5. Actually, it just got downgraded to a Category 4. Matter of fact, let's go and hop on back over here. So, when it came to this system here, right now it's a Category 4 with sustained winds of 155 miles per hour. Here, I'll even bring up my main tropical view for you. So there's the top right. That's active conditions, it's current conditions of the storm right now. Central low, 943 millibars. It is currently sustained at 155, which is upper level Cat 4. We're just shy of Cat 5 at this point, but it's an upper level Cat 4. It was a Cat 5. Like I said, last night and this morning, we had a Category 5 out of this storm. It was maximum winds got up to 165 sustained. Obviously, higher gusts near 190, probably more. Is likely occurring in that storm there. So, yeah, she did it. But yeah, anything past now, it's highly unlikely. Actually, I don't think it will get up to a Cat 5 again. It most likely will not get anywhere near Cat 5 again. Because from here on out, we're actually expecting the storm to weaken a bit as it kind of rolls into more wind shear. Like I was saying, we're having a bit of a problem with the furthest storm anyways, which is good for us. We have a little bit of a jet stream, a little bit of winds that the storm is heading into, which is going to allow for the storm to kind of weaken a bit because it's starting to cause it to unorganize itself, kind of unravel a little bit. That'll be good. Allowing for, like I said, the storm to, weaken just by the time it gets to, Jamaica and some of those other areas. So. Did it slow down some? It actually sped up a little bit. Yeah, it was going west at 20 last night. Now it's going west at 22. Or west-northwest. Yeah, it was going west-northwest at 20. Now it's going west-northwest at 22 miles an hour. So it's actually picked up speed, believe it or not. Let's see here. Cheryl says, thanks for the report. You're very welcome. I'm just, like I said, I'm just, glad to be here. Glad to help y'all out. Let's see here. What made the storm go from tropical storm to a Cat 5 so quickly? Just perfect conditions needed for tropical development. So there was a lot of warm waters. It's not just warm waters that caused this, but yeah, there's a lot of warm tropical ocean waters. That was a big contribution to it. Also, no wind shear. So there was no winds. The winds were very weak around the storm. Not from the storm itself, but around the storm from any other systems. It was very weak winds, which allowed for the storm to quickly organize. Also, a lot of moisture. There was a lot of humidity, a lot of moisture in that storm. So between high moisture, low wind shear, as well as, obviously, the warm waters, that contributed to rapid intensification. And what peaked this thing up to Cat 5 is because it just had the perfect conditions needed to do what it did. What's up, James? Hope you're doing good, man. Yeah, water temp is high. I think it's like 28 Celsius out here. Let me double check on that, actually. I know some areas are near 30 in some spots, but for these areas, I'm pretty sure it's 28. No, 29, actually. So, yeah, it's very warm waters. Very, very warm waters. Here, let me show you the waters currently. There's the tropical waters. So, yeah, anything 26 Celsius and higher, that is considered the realm for tropical activity. Based off of SSTs alone, sea surface temperatures. Anything lower than that is unsupportive. Not conducive. But yeah, as you can see, waters out there where this thing passed is 29 degrees Celsius, which is way warm. Definitely warm enough for what it did. So that is that's partially why it did what it did. With the warm waters, a lot of moisture, and once again, lack of wind shear, which is good. Let's see. Is it safe to say August will be a problem? August will likely be active, regarding hurricane season. Hurricane Center put out a big number, I'm pretty sure, for this year. I forgot the exact number. If somebody knows, put it in chat. But it is, I know it's a lot more than normal. I think they said, was it up to 26 or 28 storms, I think I heard them say. Here, let me fact check that. I don't want to give y'all any false information here. So let me hop on back here for a minute. Let me go ahead and get rid of that there for a second. So you guys look at this while I pull that up. So yeah, there's the latest infrared view. But yeah, let me pull up the Hurricane Center because I'm curious. I know it's a high number. Let's see here. NHC. Let's see here. 2024 hurricane forecast. Here we go. So, let me pull this up here. Bear with me for a minute. Okay, there's 2023. That's not very useful. I mean, I had it around here somewhere. Oh, here we go. Got it. Okay, so up to 25 named storms, according to the Hurricane Center. 2024 Atlantic hurricane season, 25 named storms, 17 to 25, hurricanes 8 to 13, and major hurricanes 4 to 7. 4 to 7 major hurricanes, and we've already had one. we blew the first one out of the water. getting up to even Cat 5, which is just wild. Yeah, major hurricanes considered Category 3 and higher, which is 100 and... Wait, hold on. So 130 plus is Cat 4. Was it 115 plus? I'm pretty sure. Is it 115 plus Cat? Let me pull up the Sapper Simpson. You know, I always remember this, and then I always forget it after not doing tracking and hurricanes for a while, because it gets quiet. So I always forget my numbers. So I need to check. I'm pretty sure it's around 215. Okay, so it's actually 111. 111 and higher. I don't know why I said 215. So 111 and higher is Cat 3. So that would be considered a major hurricane overall. Wow. Crazy, crazy. Will the storm hit Corpus Christi? So like I said, what happens to once it gets to Texas is unknown. It could have a direct... It could make landfall in eastern Mexico, or it could make landfall out there in Texas. You know, there's still a wide margin of unknown out in that region. I do want you to watch the storm, though. Will Beryl become related? I'd say probably. Probably. It really depends. I mean, I know it caused havoc in the Windward Islands, but yeah, I mean, probably. I'd say it's a good chance. Let's see here. Do I remember Hurricane Otis? I remember an Otis, yes. Remember the name. Let's see here. Justin says, when Beryl gets past Jamaica, wind and shear will rapidly decrease around Beryl. Let's see here. It's smoothly in another Cat 5. Justin, I don't think it'll get back to Cat 5 anymore. Matter of fact, I think this thing's going to be probably a low-end Cat 4, upper Cat 3 by the time it reaches Jamaica tomorrow. So I don't think it'll get to Cat 5, no. I think we've already seen Cat 5 history is behind us. I don't think we're going to see it again. Let's see here. I mean, honestly, like I said, I wasn't even expecting this thing to get Cat 5. I was expecting Cat 4, and whenever we first started really tracking this and what I was seeing with it. But Cat 5, I don't think any of us really expected that. Praying for Jamaica for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, please, send out your prayers for the people. Also for the people who really got slammed down there in the Lesser Antilles, man. So make sure please send your prayers out. Whatever religion that you use, whatever you believe in, please just... if you could, that would be awesome. Yeah, those poor people down there, dude. It's just wild. Let's see. But yeah, all right. So let's go ahead and hop our way back over to models again, y'all. We're gonna take a look at the spaghetti plots. Actually, I want to pull up the intensity guidance here as well. That's another thing I really wanted to show with you guys is the intensity guidance. With the system here overall. So first of all, let's go and hop you over here. So this is the spaghetti models. Once again, this is the latest spaghetti models from the storm here overall. So whenever it comes to it, as we approach, the Gulf of Mexico, it does look possible we could have a landfall in Texas or either eastern coastal Mexico. Those areas need to watch the storm, but no need to prepare quite yet because it's still very far out, and we're still not entirely sure. Exactly what's going to happen there. Whenever it comes to, like I said, Jamaica, here just south of Jamaica, overall, like I was saying, it seems like the models are mostly picking up on this storm, just barely scraping by on that southern coast of Jamaica. Although a direct landfall in Jamaica cannot still be ruled out. It still seems fairly possible. That the eye could slam into the coast there. So Jamaica, like I said, certainly, regardless, it's still going to cause a lot of problems for you guys. So please make sure that you guys are prepared for it and ready to go. Like I said, it's going to be probably a low-end Cat 4, maybe upper Cat 3 by the time it gets here. So it's going to be still going to be pretty hefty out there overall. Now, obviously, we continue west, and as we approach the morning of July 4th, this thing's going to be coming pretty close to the Cayman Islands. We do got ourselves hurricane warnings in place out there, too. Another region I really want you guys to prepare for. If you're in that region, make sure y'all are obviously ready to go and have all of your necessary stuff together. And then, of course, further down in time as we approach the eastern Yucatan Peninsula. We do not have any form of watches or warnings yet, but those will become needed at some point, as the storm has, pretty much already, like I said, those storms are pretty much already guaranteed that it's going to have some big issues up there for the Yucatan. But the good news about that is that the storm's going to be a lot weaker by the time it reaches the, by the time it reaches the Yucatan. At that point in time, it's likely going to be probably a Category 1, maybe mid-low-end Cat 1, at least from current guidance. It's what it seems to be. Then as it crosses over the Yucatan, it's going to weaken, obviously, because it's getting out of the water for a little bit. And as it gets out of the water and as it goes back into the Gulf, it's going to weaken down to a tropical storm, possibly even an upper tropical storm. And from there, gradual northwesterly movement, maybe a little bit more northerly component is possible. So it could come close to southern, maybe central Texas, either that or central and northern central and northern Mexico's coast. So, like I said, there's still a big wide margin of areas to watch here, but it's still it's still unknown at the moment being. But just keep an eye on it out in these areas for sure. Texas coast, Mexico's eastern coast, watch it. Yucatan Peninsula, I'd start preparing. Obviously, for Cayman Islands, you need to prepare immediately. Have your stuff ready soon. Same thing for Jamaica. Like, this is a last call for Jamaica. Making sure that you guys have everything together. Make sure you have all of your stuff, all of your things together by tonight. Because we're going to start really feeling those effects tomorrow. Let's see. HWRF shows 96L turning into a hurricane. HWRF shows a lot of things that the other models don't show. Honestly, whenever it comes to that model, I think it's kind of overdoing things a bit, personally. I've always noticed that with that model. HWRF has always been kind of the model to overhype and overdo things. Barry, it's not going to come anywhere near Seattle, man. Let's see here. But yeah, so I do think the HWRF is kind of overdoing it here. Anyways, but yeah, let's take a look at some of the spaghetti model's intensity guidance here. So obviously rapid weakening is expected over the next little bit here. The storm is expected to weaken as we get to about 48-hour mark. Let me also bring up this. So I'll duplicate that as well, and we'll go ahead and bring up our current tracks of the guy. So let me put you here, and then we'll put you here. There we go. That works, actually. That works. I think you guys can still see that pretty good, right? So yeah, as we approach our way out there to our, let's see here. Okay, so as we approach our way out there to our 24-hour mark, so this is within 24 hours of the forecast. We're going to be roughly right in here. So basically upper... Whoa, what? Why does that show Cat? Well, hold on a minute. Well, at this point in time, we're going to be up in Cat 4 territory overall. Yeah, we're going to be down in Cat 4 territory at that point in time, for sure. And then as we approach our way out there for near the Cayman Islands, we're going to be around 48 hours out or so. We're going to be right there towards, like, I think Category 2 realm. Category 2 realm seems most likely out there. Then as it approaches the Yucatan out there, about 72 hours out or so, it's going to be down towards Category 1 strength. So, yeah, models really do seem to be, somewhat on track with things regarding the intensity guidance and the overall path. The path is pretty narrow. The hurricane models are pretty confident on this thing in terms of hitting, first of all, Jamaica, then going right next to, the Cayman Islands, and then, of course, slamming in the Yucatan. At that point in time, that is a very likely path with this storm here. And like I said, here's the latest cone, guys, for the people just joining. Once again, this thing's going to be approaching Jamaica here tomorrow. Really tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, it's going to be the heaviest impacts for Jamaica. Once again, at that point in time, it's going to be likely a lower end Category 4 or an upper end Cat 3. As it passes off the western side of Jamaica, it's still probably going to be a Category 3. It's going to be probably right around maybe a mid-Category 2 as it just barely passes to the west of the Cayman Islands. So, obviously, the Cayman Islands, you guys are under hurricane warnings as well. We are expecting hurricane conditions for you guys here for the morning of July 4th. Late tomorrow, you're going to start feeling those effects out there, even in those areas. But overall, with all that being said and everything, make sure y'all are prepared out there, because it's either going to be right around Category 3 or Category 2 strength at the time it reaches the Cayman Islands. But it's not going to be a direct landfall. At least we don't think it will be. There is a model or two that does support it going right near the Cayman Island, but more than likely the eye is going to pass to the south, but still going to get some nasty conditions out there regardless. Then, of course, impacting the Yucatan Peninsula here for basically the 5th. For the morning of the 5th is landfall out there in the eastern Yucatan. Obviously the whole eastern side of the Yucatan Peninsula needs to prepare for the storm here. We are expecting around, kind of possibly like maybe upper level Category 1, maybe upper to mid-level Cat 1 as it hits and as it makes landfall. It'll downgrade by the time it gets to the western side of the Yucatan Peninsula. It'll still be an upper-level tropical storm as it crosses back into the Gulf waters. And, of course, as it starts moving more northwest here, it could, like I said, it could cause a bit of an issue out there for the eastern side of Mexico, or even Texas could have a bit of a problem. Let's see here. But yeah, that's still a little bit ways away down there towards Texas and Mexico. Still not for sure, but it does seem like it's more likely that Texas will be impacted by the storm. Timmy, where is that at, my friend? I'm not entirely too... It says Kensington. I'm not too sure. Here, let me see if I can pull that in there. Yeah, you gotta be a little bit more specific than that, man. I'm not too sure where that's at. What country and stuff like that it's in. At that point, I'll be able to help, because if I just put in Kensington Avenue, it won't it won't pop up anything. Let's see here. But yeah, so that's what's going on with her. We're gonna go ahead and bring y'all back over here to the models again. We're gonna talk the latest models again with y'all. So let's go ahead and hop on over here. So here's the HWRF model regarding the storm here. Now this model has it, obviously weakening maybe a little bit. Actually, not hardly much at all. But it starts weakening once it gets to Jamaica. Now the HWRF model, first of all, the landfall according to this model will be right there, or the heaviest impacts will be right there for the early afternoon into kind of early to late afternoon is kind of when we're going to have like the heavy impacts. Same thing for even going into the evening too. So basically, it's going to start early afternoon with the heavy impacts, and it'll last until tomorrow evening out there in Jamaica. But yeah, this model, as you can see, the eye does touch that southern coast there. It does make landfall in Jamaica according to the HWRF model. HMON here. This model does, has it kind of just passing to the south. You can see, just passing shy to the south out there, south of Jamaica. The HAFSA model, this model here has it kind of pretty similar to the HWRF, still slightly off the coast, but it is right there. It is literally right rubbing up against the coast, the eye wall there. Then, of course, we have the other parent model, the HAFSB, or just the other model in general here. This model has it, this one has it making landfall. So 2 out of 4 models the 2 out of 4 models we just looked at shows this thing making a direct landfall in Jamaica. Let's look at a few more models here just to kind of see what the more likely scenario is. So right now it's 50-50. GFS has this thing right under Jamaica there, right around southern Jamaica. So this one's eye wall would be rubbing up against, but not a direct landfall according to this model. And then lastly, we have the Euro, the ECMWF here. ECMWF, yeah. Okay, so European model has this thing making a direct landfall in Jamaica on that southern coast. So about 3 out of 6 models we just looked at supports. About 3 out of 6 models, which is a 50-50 shot, has this thing going through, making landfall in Jamaica. So, at this point in time, a direct landfall in Jamaica seems possible. It does seem quite possible. So, but like I said, regardless, the effects are going to be very similar, with the system, because regardless, pretty much all the models have the eye wall scraping up against the side. So, you guys are definitely going to get hit regardless, unfortunately. Once again, make sure you're ready by tonight, guys. We're going to really start to feel those effects here for tomorrow. Tomorrow morning is when we're going to really start to feel that. So just make that. Where are my campers safest place? You don't want to be in a camper during a hurricane. Honestly, I would highly recommend that you find another place find another place out there to take shelter. Trailers, campers, not a good place to be. Let's see here. Kensington Avenue is in Philadelphia. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, well, this is not hitting Philadelphia, I'll tell you that, my friend. This is going to stay far away from Pennsylvania. This is thousands of miles away, or at least 8,000 miles away. But yeah, so that's what models show. Regarding the moisture and stuff like that, models they still have the storm having a good amount of moisture. Moisture doesn't really seem to be an issue overall. Yeah, moisture doesn't seem to be a problem. Obviously, we're going to have some wind shear, though, on the western side of the storm, which is going to allow for it to, obviously weaken a bit. Let's see. Question, today outlook be okay? I'm sort of nervous in Illinois. We got an enhanced risk today out there. Let's see here. Oh. Kind of off topic from the tropics, but yeah, regarding today, we do have an enhanced risk out there in Iowa. Illinois, nothing too crazy. I got a 5% tornado risk out there in southern central Iowa, northern Missouri, northeastern Kansas, southeast Nebraska. 30 non-sig wind risk either. Possibility out there for some gusts between 60 and 70 mile an hour winds. But Illinois, just western Illinois today, has a potential for a little bit of severe weather out there overall. But yeah, but like I was saying though, with this system here, it is going to be there's still plenty of moisture inside the storm there overall. Let's see here, and direct landfall probabilities of Jamaica, I'd say is right around 50-50 right now. It's about a 50% chance that this thing's going to slam its way into Jamaica. Regardless, it's going to be very close, and regardless, there's going to be some really heavy impacts out there. We'll be doing coverage tomorrow afternoon for sure on Jamaica as the worst impacts start to arise. So, yeah, we'll be live for that. Let's see. When was the last time there's a Cat 5 hurricane in June? I think this is the first one ever for June, if I'm not mistaken. But it's not June anymore, it's July. But I think this is the earliest Cat 5 in the Atlantic. That's what I've been hearing. It's pretty wild. But remember, this thing became a Cat 5 in July. It became a Cat 5 yesterday, July 1st. So it didn't quite make Cat 5 in June, but yesterday it did. Yeah, the lowest pressure. Oh no, the lowest pressure it got down to was 934. Maximum winds were up to 167 miles an hour. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, 167 sustained was maximum out there. 934 millibar low, 167. Let me pull up aircraft recon. They got a. Oh wow, they just got a new Hurricane Hunter aircraft heading towards the storm. Actually, look at this, y'all. Got a new one en route. They just took off from Louisiana, or sorry, Gulfport, Mississippi. But they're heading towards Beryl. Also got another one in progress here. Let's see here. What are they doing? Are they? Oh no, they're done with their mission. I think yeah, they just landed up there in the. Where'd they land? They land up in the leewards. Got another one. Yeah, that's the one that landed. It's like this mission 8, mission 9. I think those are 2 done. This one's in progress. Yeah, they had a lot of missions out on this guy. We have another mission that just took off. So I don't think we have hardly any active people in the storm right now. I think right now. It's the earliest Cat 5 and hurricane in not only July but on record in the Atlantic. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Football, it recent with the last update, it did get downgraded to a Cat 4, upper level Cat 4, but it's just 2 mile an hour sustained away from a Cat 5. By the time I made the title and thumbnail, it was still a Cat 5, but of course, as I start to stream, they updated it to a Cat 4. Yeah, I think a lot of these missions are done here, y'all. Anyways. But, alright, y'all. Well, I think we're probably going to head off here soon. If y'all did enjoy this, consider leaving a like and subscribing. We'll come back on later tonight. Yeah, we'll do some more updates on this tonight. I'm not doing severe weather coverage today for the people wondering. No, we're not going to do coverage on on severe weather today. I'm just fully focused on the tropics right now. So I'm going to be working on the tropics with you guys over the next while. That's... you know, that's where I typically stand regarding things. Let's see here. Brayden, thank you so much, coming with a $10 Venmo donation. That just came through about 2 minutes ago. But thank you so much, Brayden. That's really, really sweet of you. Thank you so much. You are awesome. Yeah, so shout out goes to you. Also, like I said, let's see here. I think you're our first donator today. Thank you so much, my friend. That's very, very sweet of you. Let's see here. Yeah, it did break a lot of records for sure. Absolutely. But all right, y'all. Well, we're gonna head off here in 5 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and call the stream here at 3:30 Eastern. Matter of fact, speaking of severe weather, they just put up watch potential, 80% chance for northeast Kansas. So. If you're up there in northeast Kansas, as well as southern Iowa and northern Missouri, y'all are about to get a severe thunderstorm watch here, probably within the next 1 or 2 hours. What's up, pilot? Hope you're doing good, man. Is the storm hitting a Cat 5 hurricane early rare? Yeah, this was very rare, what we witnessed with the storm. But like I said, right now, y'all, it is a Cat 4 again. It's starting to struggle a little bit. Like I said, obviously the western side of the storm here starting to deal with a little bit of wind shear. Yeah, pilot, we've been live for about an hour and a half, man. Catching us on the end, but I'll be live again tonight, man. I'll be live again tonight. Probably around 10 p.m., 10 or 11 p.m. Eastern. Probably 9, maybe 9 or 10, so somewhere around then. If you have notifications on our channel, you'll get notified 30 minutes before I go live, and you'll get notified when I do go live. So if you're not already subscribed, consider it. And that little bell icon you see, set that to all. That way you guys can get notified whenever I do go live for these updates. So that way you guys can stay on top of it and not have to keep on checking my channel if I'm live or not. So yeah, turn on notifications. But anyways, y'all. Well, yeah, so we're going to head off here in 4 minutes. If y'all have any questions, anything regarding the tropics or anything like that, please let me know. Like I said, we'll be here for you. I do want to go and point out, though, there's still a lot of lightning activity in that eye wall, though. You see that? That northeastern eye wall, man, it's been lighting up since yesterday with a lot of lightning. Pretty wild out there. But like I said, yeah, once again, final call for areas out there in Jamaica. You know, once again, Jamaica, y'all are going to start really feeling those effects tomorrow morning. Okay, so once again, I want you guys to be ready by tonight. Is there anybody even here from Jamaica? If you're in chat, I'm just curious. If there's even anybody here from Jamaica, or if you know anybody in Jamaica, just let them know. Maybe spread this stream to, you know, a relative, friends, family, anybody. That way they can be prepared as well. Like I said, we'll be live on this. I'll be covering this throughout the entire life of Beryl. We've been tracking it since it was just an investigation. So we've been tracking it since it crossed off of Africa. So it's a crazy storm. She's a beast for sure. Pines. It was actually it was a Cat 5 for longer than that. It was a Cat 5 for a lot longer than that. It was just a Cat 5 until last update, which took place at 2 o'clock. So it was a I think it was a Cat 5 for a little less than 12 hours, or right around 12 hours. I mean, it wasn't a Cat 5 for long, but it was longer than 2 to 4 hours. Do I think that this season there will be more of these monster hurricanes? So in oh, thank you, man, I appreciate it. So when it comes to it, honestly, there will be a lot more activity this season. In general, with with the activity in the hurricane season, it will be a lot more active overall. Absolutely. For specific areas though, like forecasting on where these storms will go this far out, it's unknown. Where this thing will end up, or sorry, not this storm, but other future storms will end up. We don't know. That's just up to how the atmosphere is handling for that time being, and just nature's all over the place. There will be a lot more activity here. Like I said, there will be a lot more activity overall this hurricane season. It's gonna be very active. And as those storms come through, we'll just have to see how everything's looking. But let's see here. Romel saying, yeah, man, from Jamaica. Well, hello from the States, man. Hope you're doing good. And I hope that my information is quite useful. And I hope you're prepared, dude. Like I said, I wish the best to you, man. It's definitely... I'm thankful that it's not as strong, as it previously was, as it approached you, or as it's approaching near Jamaica. I'm definitely thankful for that, because it is supposed to downgrade, but it's still going to be a very strong storm. Like I said, we're talking still lower Category 4, upper Cat 3 at that point in time. So it is, it's still going to be quite a strong storm as it approaches you. And like I said, you're going to really start to feel it tomorrow morning. The big stuff is going to be happening late tomorrow morning, into the afternoon, and throughout the evening. By late evening, it should be pulling away from you guys. But, yeah, definitely... like I said, just wishing you all the best out there. And like I said, I'll be here. I'll be doing coverage on it. So for you guys that are there in Jamaica, like I said, I'll be live here as it makes that approach for you guys, and we'll be helping you guys out, and I'll be letting y'all know what's going on as it happens. So, like I said, hope you all the best, my friends. But, all right, y'all. Well, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for now. Once again, I appreciate y'all for being here. Once again, for my folks out in Jamaica, everybody else who's being affected as well. Once again, wish you guys the best. And, like I said, I hope y'all are prepared for it. And, like I said, just make sure you're prepared by tonight, okay? Make sure you're prepared by tonight. That's your homework. That's your homework for tonight, my friends. How much storm surge is expected? I don't have a storm surge map, actually. The Hurricane Center didn't put one out, believe it or not. So I'm not entirely too sure on storm surge, but regarding a storm of this magnitude, it's going to be pretty high. Yeah, out there in Jamaica. It depends on, like I said, obviously, well, first of all, how strong it is at the approach, but also if it's even going to make direct landfall. At the time being, it's a 50-50 shot, of it making a direct landfall. Regardless, it's going to be hugging the coast of Jamaica. That's pretty much known at this point. But there is still a chance that it could just, dig its way into Jamaica, which I hope not. But, obviously the best case scenario, the further south it goes, would be better. But, all right, y'all. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Like I said, y'all take care of yourselves. And, like I said, we'll catch y'all later on today. We'll be live again later tonight. Eastern time zone. I'm not sure what the time zone is for Jamaica, but here currently it is 3:30. So my time. So I'll be live tonight anywhere from 9 to 10 o'clock Eastern. So this evening I'll be live at 9 or 10 o'clock Eastern time. Or just turn on notifications. If you subscribe, turn on that bell. That way you guys get notified whenever I do go live. So that way you guys will immediately be alerted whenever I do go live, and I give you all an update on this here tonight. But all right, guys, y'all have a great day. Have a wonderful day out there. Like I said, try not to worry too much about the storm. I get it's a little scary, but like I said, we're here for you. We'll keep you updated. I'll keep you posted on everything we know. And alrighty, you guys take care. We'll catch y'all later on. See you later, guys. Be safe and have a great day.